Well, you're absolutely right. That was my experience over the last 10 years, which is we had a really bad 5 or 6 years where you couldn't do anything right. And now we've had a reasonably good 4 years. So in terms of returns on our investment, the returns absolutely reflect those movements in the markets. So from that perspective, it's much better today than it was 5 or 6 years ago in terms of getting up and enjoying your job every morning. But do I believe this is the beginning of a sustained bull market? Frankly, I do. I think the future of the mining industry, partly because of the lack of spending and the poor returns for 6 of the last 10 years, are going to be quite good, probably for the decade of the 2020s. So I think it's probably a good time to be putting money to work. It's not going to be all smooth sailing. Right now we're not having particularly smooth sailing. People are worried about potential global trade war, amongst other things. So that's causing a little bit of a ripple effect in the industry, in the sector right now. But I think over the course of the next 10, 12 years, it's going to be a pretty good place to be. Corporate strategies have changed tremendously since the global financial crisis. You'll probably recall back in 2005, 2006, it was the stronger for longer bull market. Everyone had a license to build projects almost without thought to the cost. Matter of fact, it was more headline grabbing if you had a bigger project with bigger numbers, because that demonstrated to your shareholders that you had better growth prospects than the next guy. If you had a $10 billion project, it was so much better than having a $2 billion project. That license to build projects also translated into a license to acquire companies. So the larger companies, the Rios and the BHPs, the Anglos of the world, had a license to acquire virtually any company. And again, it was the bigger the better. Here we are, 2018, that has completely changed. Now it's very difficult to get a project sanctioned at all. It's extremely difficult to get big budget projects sanctioned. Much better off to have a smaller project. If you have a big project, do it in stages. Do it in 3 steps of 1 billion rather than 1 step of 3 billion. Bring in a partner for 30%. So that you don't have to carry the entire financial risk and financial load. And regarding M&A, virtually no one has a license on M&A. You do see the occasional story with respect to medium-sized companies trying to grow their business where it's strategic, but generally speaking, acquisitions simply for growth are no longer acceptable. They're viewed as dilutionary in terms of shareholder returns. And that is a completely 180-degree shift from where the industry was in 2005, 2006, 2007. And frankly, it's the right thing. It's the right shift.